Hello, welcome again to the new episode of Checking to Stay. And this episode, we have a new guest who's gonna take us through the optimal or possible pathways of how you can gain a PR in hospitality and tourism. And here you have myself, your host, Prithviraj Prakash, as well as
Olalola Mikhail Thiru, your second host, going
And
through with you and my fellow host and our special guest the optimum pathway you need to consider in hospitality, tourism, and service management.
and I'm Sarju Singh, your third host, and stay connected with us to seek out the optimum pathways that will guide you for your PR journey.
welcome viewers back to Check In to Stay. And today, for the episode number 2, we have a new guest, Mr. Alistair De Silva. Hello, Alistair. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself for the guests, the
Thank
listeners?
you.
Pardon me.
Yes. So hi everybody. My name is Alistair De Silva. I am currently a Lambton College student. I'm doing hospitality management there. Recently, just completed my co-op on my study break. It's been 8 months. I'm working here at the Algonquin Resort in New Brunswick. This resort is owned by Marriott International. It's an American hospitality chain. I started here as a guest service agent, currently working as a human resource coordinator as well. It has been a really fruitful journey as a co-op student, as someone who is looking to learn, to grow, to develop skills. As an international student, you really want that platform to build your base. I think that is what I have gotten here. So it's been a fruitful journey.
Wow, that sounds like a really busy title. Well, multiple titles for you to hold at the moment. So, I want to ask about how it all began. Like when you started working as an international student, did you have an hurdle when you was there a situation where you're facing a need for Canadian experience, or when you were getting into an entry level role?
Personally, I did not really face much difficulty. I did have education back in India, my home
Mhm.
country. Not really that I worked or had a work experience. I did have trainings. So I did have a base. Initially, yes, getting into the difficulty, I would say I would have faced is getting into the initial stage of big recruitments like Fairmont and Marriott. These are
Uh-huh.
some leading chains in Canada. So you are competing with best applicants all around the world. So yes, somewhere I myself felt like I might be like somewhere behind, or there might be better applicants there. But no, honestly, in interview for hospitality students, not just work experience, but the people skills matter. So if you're getting that chance of interview, when you are having that people skill, that nature of sort of helping and being there, making a guest feel like home, they care more about that than you having a year of experience or 5 years of experience, because this is something that the Canadian hospitality really wants. They want to have that nature of a person where they're very welcoming, they're very warm-hearted. So yes, I think this is something that can be not like something that you can have with your education or experience, but something that you are growing yourself. So yeah, I don't really think I had that much difficulty because I had that skill already in myself, and like I said, I did educate myself before also, so my theoretical and practical knowledge was there, so not that difficult. But yeah.
One of the first steps for any student wrapping up their program from a college or university in Canada before progressing into their PR status, one of the very first steps is the postgraduate work permit. You must have done a lot of research on that. What have you found pertaining changes to the law? How many years or months will a postgraduate work permit be given when you do apply?
So with my course, hospitality management, or if you do other course, which is sort of like tourism management, you get this is a 2-year course, so you get 3 years work permit. Um, once you are done with the 2-year course, I think my research so far has been that, this sort of industry that I am in, it is something that anybody can do a job in. Now, when I say that, I don't mean like anybody needs to have a hospitality. Like I said, they don't need to have that degree. But if you have that people skill, you can be a guest service agent, then a supervisor, and then a front office manager, even if you're doing engineering, IT, medical, or whatsoever. So my research had to, how can I be a better or something? How can I be a niche in my own organization? How am I going to be something different? So of course, there are ways what I would do and what I would suggest one to do if they're doing hospitality to stand out and be something different, because everybody lands here. They have a part-time job. They either working in Tim Hortons or other brands like that. They're doing service or working in a restaurant. So everybody is getting into this industry, even if they are a medical student or whatsoever. So to stand out, I think language. We hospitality students, be it guest service agent, we are people facing. Having
Mhm.
more languages into your resume is going to help. I myself, my mother tongue is Portuguese. I know English. I know Hindi. I know Gujarati. I want to add on French. That is something that is very much in demand in Canada. And that is very much when I work as a front desk agent, there are people who come and check in and check out. They want to speak French because that is their comfortable language. So if I knew that that is something that is going to make me stand out from everybody there who I'm working with because I know French. So that is going to also make me grow to a supervisory role or something like that at a guest service agent point. If I'm serving a guest, and if my communication in French is going to be better, of course I'm going to make that that experience more personalized because they'll be able to understand what I'm wanting to tell them or what they're wanting, what kind of service are they expecting. So language is going to be one. Two, I would say, try to look to having trainings in supervisory role when you are in a associate level, because at the end you have to understand that you're only going to get into that PR, into that pool if you are into like a tier 3, 4, 3, 2,
Three,
1 or
two,
0.
one, zero.
Yeah. So 4 and 5 is not going to be eligible. So what I think is like having supervisory role at front office or a restaurant manager or a housekeeping supervisor. These kind of managerial supervisorial roles are going to take you there. If not, if you are someone who is a very management student who does not like to face a lot of people, if you want to work in back, then you have sales and marketing, you have human resource, things like that. So people think that hospitality is only about these front roles, but you also have back admin roles. So these kind of
Mhm.
tier 3, 2, 1. So that would be my second thing to aim something tier wise. Apart from language and tier, I would say there are other certifications that I can do, which can really make my sort of role
Mhm.
for example, if I want to have it in HR, I can do CPHR or HRPA roles or
Yes.
courses and certifications. Yeah, which will make me, even though in a hospitality I don't really need to have that to be a HR coordinator, but having that is going to make my organization feel like, okay, he's an asset. He's something who is licensed, has certification, has language skills. So this is something that's going to help me. So how am I going to do it is yeah, because of the research I can understand this is going to be my way to stand out, be different, and
So, Alistair, I just want to draw your attention back to postgraduate work permits. Now, there's a lot of information out there. In the age of AI, ChatGPT, and other LLMs, a lot of people are doing research using AI to gather information and prepare. You must have developed your own roadmap, right?
yes. So the roadmap that I have for myself is right now, as soon as I started my role as a guest service agent, my mind started clicking, how do I make this into something, or how do I, because I had 8 months. Lambton College has designed this course, hospitality and tourism management, in such a way that we students get 8 months on field, practical working experience. 4 months is co-op, followed by 4 months break, and then we return for a final term. So that 8 months is something that is really important for Canadian hospitality industry, because that is the peak season. We work in summers, we have a lot of business. In winter, it dies down. That's when we come back to college. So this is sort of how the program is designed. So as soon as I started, I knew I want to use all my 8 months. I do not want to come back to Sarnia or to Ontario for my break, because I really wanted to sort of stick to the same organization I'm doing co-op in, and use this 8 month to like, really have the transition, learn, explore, and like, sort of hold or make my reputation sound, or make that organization feel that, I'm an asset, and like I can come back and be something that, is more. So that makes my life
Valuable.
easier. With the postgraduate work permit, I already have a job. How? Because I started as a guest service agent. Soon after 4 or 5 months, there was a vacancy for like, a HR coordinator. I had experience back home, back in India, where I was working as an HR coordinator. I've done my trainings and like, master, but I did not really have work experience. But my work at the front desk was really good. I was excelling. My performance was, very much visible. So I got this opportunity to sort of cross train. So because of this cross training, I sort of moved from a guest service agent to a human resource coordinator role, which is sort of like, if you talk in PR language, it's like a tier 3 job to a like, a direct jump from a
Have
tier 4 to a tier
photo
2.
too.
Yes, 4 to 2.
Okay.
So that's like a super jump.
So, of course, immigration laws are always changing. Pretty much every 3 to 4 months, they
Yeah.
change. In your research, when you do apply for your postgraduate work permit, because today I just heard something interesting that when you apply for your postgraduate work permit, it's going to get delayed before you actually receive it, but then it's going to get backdated. Is that true?
That is true because recently, with the students I have been around and my batchmates or my seniors, they are sort of having a backlog of sort of 8 months to just get their work permit. So I think that is sort of a benefit for like, someone, because that work experience, whatever hours or whatever you are doing, is going to be counted. So might as well use that. If like for me, in my case, if I come back to this organization, I already have a co-op, like, work experience and hours. So if I apply under Atlantic Immigration Province, because I'm in an Atlantic, like part of the
Yeah.
country, my hours from co-op can also be counted towards post-graduation work permit, because it's
Uh,
the same job that I'm holding, same tier job, right?
so,
So
so what is the duration of a postgraduate work permit? Is it a year? Is it 2 years?
three
How
years.
long? 3 years.
So yeah,
So with a 2 year
26 to
college,
120.
so
Yeah.
with a two-year college period and then a 3 year postgraduate work period that
Yes.
you're expected to have found work, worked for a year before then you apply for your PR
Yeah.
pathway.
Yeah.
Um, have you decided which path you actually are going to take? Like, are you going down the express entry CEC route, or maybe you're eyeing PNP? Any
So
ideas?
yeah, right. Like I said, my option is going to definitely be CEC, like Canadian Express class. Under that, I'm aiming to get into a niche category, which makes me like, stand out. That is getting into the French category. So if I
Okay.
have French language and the express entry, that sort of makes me stand out from the pool and makes
Mm.
me like, have the process get quicker for me to get the PR. And me already having a tier 2 job makes it much more easier than me having a tier 4 or a tier 3. Maybe I can like, if I would have continued as a guest service agent, 2 years later I would have become the supervisor, and then I would
Mhm.
have been qualified. But what if my work permit would have expired? But I'm lucky
One,
enough to get that role now.
one
Uh,
last question from me on this. Actually, for those who don't know, for those who are trying to get a French qualification, French speaking qualification as well, so that they can boost their chances. Do you know to what degree that they are expected? Like, how good do you have to be at French
Yeah.
for it
So
to count? Mm.
yeah, in French, like you have in IELTS, you have bands, sort of similar way you have it in French. It's just
mhm.
that you have A1, A2, B1, B2. So in French, you have these levels of like, you can go up to C2 if you want to be that expert. But for TEF, which is TEF, or like all the Canadian level like examination for French, you need to be B2 level. So you have to complete A1, A2, B1, B2. When you do B2, that is when you can say you have the knowledge, or you have enough like understanding of the
Comprehension
language,
capable.
yeah, to give that exam. So after you have done B2, give mocks, prepare for these exams like you prepare for IELTS. Try,
Mhm.
doing their reading, listening,
Like the
writing, speaking.
TOEFL
Yep,
examination and things.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to do all this reading, listening, writing, and speaking in French, and that's how you clear the bands. You have to have at least CLB 5 up to 7. Depends on the tier you have. That
Mhm.
also what kind of job you
Okay.
have, what kind of tier you're aiming. So yes, something about B2 when you're good, give your exam, have a good band, aim for the highest, I would say. But tier 7, sorry, CLB 7 or level 7 in French is really going to benefit you.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
All right.
are you excited for the trivia game?
Yeah, I'm very competitive, so let's go.
Jobs classified as not tier 4 or 5 are generally eligible for express entry PR programs in Canada. True or false?
False. That is not true. Like I said before in the start, tier 0, 1, 2, 3 is what can be something that you should aim for. Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely
so
correct.
I'm going to give a little explanation. You are definitely correct. Now, under express entry, only occupations in tier 1, 2, or 3 are considered skilled enough to qualify. Tier 4 and 5 roles are not usually eligible for federal skilled immigration programs. Good job on question one.
But
Correct.
Mikael,
Mhm.
I don't know if you knew about this. There are, however, alternate pathways for tier 4 and 5. Like
Of course.
specific, like really specific PNP streams
Mm.
and other pathways for you to actually get PR as well. Do you know about that, Alistair?
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea about the alternative pathways, but I know for express entry, that is something that I was aiming for. So I do know that 0, 1, 2, 3 is what is
Yeah.
eligible.
Yeah, Lester. So yeah, you should aim for express entry because for PNP it will take much more time than the express entry. As
Okay.
yeah, because you have to wait for first the provincial draw, then go to the central draw, the federal one. So lot of
Yeah.
waiting period.
Yeah.
So now, we will move to the second question. It will be a multiple choice. Approximately how many CRS points does the applicant typically need to be get invited for the PR through the express entry? So the first option is around 300 to 400 points. The second is around 450 points. The option C is 500 or more points. And the last is under 350 points. So which is correct according to you?
I would say it's somewhere about, definitely, I wish it was 450, but I know realistically right now
Yeah.
it has crossed somewhere 500.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, golden days were 300, but not
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
So I would say about 450, 500, not
Yeah.
sure. But yeah.
Welcome to the new Canada. So now it's more than 500, 520 is like the
Okay.
average draw we are always seeing. So in the recent draws of express entry, cutoff have hovered in 500 plus range. For example, like in 2024, general round, the minimum invited CRS score were around 525, and it stretches to 549 with a medians of 535. So you can assume that 535 is the average, so you have to score more than 535.
Which of the following is a common pathway to PR for most international graduates in hospitality and tourism? A. Canadian Express Entry, uh, Canadian Experience Class (CEC), provincial nominee programs, family class sponsorship, or both A and B, CEC and PNP. What's your answer for this?
I would say a wise decision right now would be CEC, but I think majority people do prefer PNP as well, or
Mhm.
they tried the combination of both. So I would say A and B is the option.
Absolutely, you're correct. Most of the people, just like you, how you're planning on for CEC, most of them focus on CEC, having PNP as a backup plan as well.
Yeah.
The main routes for permanent residence, as you said, are economic programs like hospitality and management. So most of the graduates working in Canada and who qualify for CEC and who are nominated for PNP in provinces like Alberta and places like British Columbia, they all work hard, especially for these two, just like you mentioned.
In Canada's hospitality sector, permanent residency applications success rates are about the same for low skill workers and high skill workers. True or false?
No, it's not. Not anymore. You have to be something that the market needs. Like, a position that is something like, is for you, or like, you are in demand, or you are something that you like, you're an asset. Like I keep saying that word. You have to be fruitful to the organization. So yeah, that is what the organizer, like, organizations or employers are looking for. On ground, when I'm working at a tier 4 or 5 level job as a guest service agent, anyone from high school or anybody can take that job who knows how to work on a software, check in a guest, has the English, communication, and can smile and just be, a very good, kind person. But what is the need is the person who can think as a manager back there about how revenue, how how can they get the money, and how can they sell all the rooms out. So that is a manager's mind. That is not something a 12th or a high school graduate can do. So that is the demand. So I think um I feel you have to be very competitive. Even though it's hospitality, it looks very easy, but you have to be very competitive in that organization or in this sector as well.
Among temporary workers in accommodation slash food services, about 45% of those in higher skilled jobs gained PR within 5 years, compared to only 29% of those in lower skilled jobs.
So I think I could answer your question you were saying about, how could be a chance. Well,
Mm.
I'm not sure, but let's hope. I mean, good for them who are like, really hoping for that, in that position to get a PR. But right now, realistically, you need to be something like, top notch. You need to have like, the brain to like, have the brainstorming to really
Mm.
stand out and be an exceptional employee, to really for your employer or your organization to support you, or for this country to feel the worth in you.
So for like express entry applications for permanent residency, like are processed roughly in a period of 6 months. So you agree or not? Like,
I I think yes, because right now I'm in New Brunswick, AIP and everything is delayed. It has been delayed by like nearly 3 years, or 2.5 years. So I do know, like, with the talks going around, I think CEC is fast. Like it is the fastest route right now. Not sure, but maybe, yeah. Yeah, I think 6 months is possible.
yeah, you're right. Like the Canadian federal express entry system is pretty faster. So for
Okay.
like IRCC service is standard to proceed most of the express entry application in about like 6 months.
Okay. Also, I heard like if you are doing French, it also becomes as sooner as 4 months. So I don't know, try your luck, but it does work out. So I think yeah, 6 months is like a good time
Yeah.
span for
I think,
CEC.
like you said, French is the new way for permanent residency, perhaps, and hospitality comes in just after that, probably. So, I'm gonna jump into the final question. In tourism and hospitality, which type of job tends to have the highest success rate in terms of obtaining a permanent residency? A, skilled jobs like hotel managers or specific skill trades like chefs and sous chefs. B, entry level service jobs like servers or housekeepers. Or C, seasonal or part time jobs in resorts. D, anything works.
Now I know the answer is A, but there's also somewhere like I'm an HR. So C, having a seasonal contract job, because a lot of our jobs are seasonal contract. Okay.
Mhm.
Like in hotel or hospitality, we don't really have a lot of full-time jobs. So our major chunk of manpower is on a seasonal contract basis. So what people do, or in our hospitality industry, yes, everybody aims to have a full-time job because that is something that's going to help you, or sort of managerial position or whatever. But you can also be a manager on a seasonal contract. That's what I'm trying to explain. Every manager is not a full-time employee in the hotel or the resort. It can also be a seasonal contract. But if you have those hours, which is 1,560 hours in that seasonal contract, or whatever you have, then you aim for a full-time job. You can use those hours and also aim for it. So yeah, option A is the right answer. But technically, even C, like a seasonal contract, can really help you. But at the end, yes, you will need a full-time job. So for PR
Wow.
eligibility, you will need a full-time job. But even if you have a seasonal job when you start after your college, that's really good option. Go for it. Get your hours, get your 1,560 hours, then you can aim for a full-time job.
I believe Alistair actually got all the questions right.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, and I hope I was able to justify it correctly, but yeah, I tried my best.
I believe you did answer to a very high degree the questions, and I think the audience feel at least 1 point smarter than they were before this episode.
Hey, that's really glad to know. My motive is successful. But yeah, thank you for the opportunity though. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on. Raj, Sarabjit, anything to say to
Well,
probably our best guest so far?
yeah, absolutely. I definitely know I feel more smarter about hospitality and how tourism could actually help me as well. So I definitely feel confident.
Yeah, Lester, you have shared a wonderful insight. Like, I am able to know much more, better ways to getting PR. So you have told a lot of things about French. So you have broadened my view. Thank you, and you also helped our guests to know more ways, more.
Bef- Before you do go, though, I want to throw one last question at you, Alistair. In 5 years, what is the dream position for you in hospitality?
Um, Uh, it is human resources. I am a people person.
Mm,
Yes, I love that has been my sort of. I've done industrial psychology for a reason. I've done my master's in that. I
wow.
really like to study the employee brain. Understanding how can a workplace be better? How can I make a workplace better as a human resource coordinator? So yeah, that is the profession that interests me. Talent, culture, training, these are the sort of insights, or the aim that I want to get into. So maybe position wise I would be aiming for a manager, then a director, something like that. But yeah, it is the department, yes, human resources, but also I want to be HR in hospitality, because like I said, I'm a people person. I cannot sit in an office 9 to 5. That is not my style. I want to be HR in a chaotic world, that is hospitality. So yeah, HR, but in a hospitality role.
I
Yeah.
would not want to be competing with you for the same hospitality job. Thank you so much,
Ah,
Alistair.
Yeah, he will be a tough competitor for us.
Oh,
all right.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Alistair, for coming up, shedding some light on us, giving us a lot of knowledge. And I definitely do. I want to repeat. I definitely do feel a point more smarter than I was an hour ago.
Thank you so much.
So thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it. Bye bye, guys.
Okay.
Take care, Alistair.
I hope you guys had an amazing session, and I myself feel a point smarter than how I was before this episode. So I'd be expecting your comments and your questions down below.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. The fact is, we all need a little help when it comes to knowing what to do when applying and going for PR.
Stay tuned and stay connected with us for more PR pathways. Check in to stay. Your PR journey starts here.